So I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and St. Louis, according to Numio, is the 27th most dangerous city in the world. In the world. 27th most dangerous. There's a lot of U.S. cities in the top 25, and St. Louis is just one of them. The population here is, we're gonna do kind of a north-south drive through the city, from the northern part through to the downtown and then over to the arch, and that'll be the end of the video. If you're looking for a specific part of the city to look at, we're just doing a north-south drive. We're gonna go through the North Riverfront neighborhood, which is 564, their violent crime is 564% worse than the national average. We'll go through the near North Riverfront, where it's 256. The roads need to be repaired. Warning, tire pressure low, add air. Yeah, that was not good. It's actually showing. Wait, actually, I have to go over and take a look at that. Either that or the thing got turned. All right. Problems with the rental car. Anyway, then we're going to go through the Hyde Park area. That their violent crime there is 589% worse than the national average. I'm going to pull over and look at this tire for a second. I think it's actually flat.
I think so.
Well, we can't pull over here if we think it's going to. Look at all the garbage on the side. We got to pull over. That pothole, I think, popped our tire. But we're going to pull over to the side up here. Okay, so St. Louis doesn't like us. We hit a pothole, the tire went flat, and we had to put the spare on, so we had a little detour. You can see we're heading, look at all this junk on the side of the road here. Old tires, there's garbage everywhere. So St. Louis, I was naming off all the neighborhoods we're going through, the worst of which will be Old North St. Louis. That's the violent crime there is 689% worse than the national average. And let's hope we don't hit any more potholes on this road. So anyway, St. Louis has a population of 279,000, and it's been declining since the 1950s, when they had 856,000 people. So they've lost, you know, a lot. 2/3 of their population since the 50s. They're losing about 7,000 people a year here, and only 4% are due to homicide, so not everybody's being killed. It's 46% white, 45% black, so it's not really diverse. It's mostly just black and white. The average income is $41,000, which is kind of high for a city like this, and the poverty rate is 19%. 68% of the people that live here were born here, which is kind of low actually, which shows a lot of people that live here, or a lot of people that grew up here moved out. And it's showing just 4% being non-citizens. What is this? Okay, we'll go this way. You want me to go around this thing? Yeah, we can. Not road closed, not a through street. Oh, great. So now, where's this person gonna go? Should we follow them?
Yeah.
All right, following the Jeep.
He's probably gonna turn.
See what he does. Yeah, we'll follow this Jeep. It says road closed, but look at that huge pothole. There's another one. We gotta watch out for potholes here. Is that Jeep getting through? Or is he turning around?
He's turning around.
Is there a parking lot? What about this parking lot on the left? Can we just cut through it?
Huh.
Railroad tracks, road closed. He's going into the, no.
Can't get past here.
Yeah, that person actually looks like they work here.
Why is it closed?
emergency service vehicles. All right, so far our trip to St. Louis has not been a good one. 2 minutes into the city, we get a flat tire. Now we're on a road that's closed and can't get out. So anyway, according to the last census, only 4% of the people that live here are non-citizens. I'm sure that number is much higher now if they did another survey of it. We're gonna have to go back out the same way that we came in because there's no way out of here without being able to go on that road. I'll just skip that and see where we go. Okay, so the overall violent crime here in the city, the overall from the whole city average is 283% higher than the national average. And I named off all the neighborhoods that we're going to be driving through, and all of them are in the 500 to 600 range. And so that just shows that the city does have some areas that are nicer. And I've seen actually a lot of videos on St. Louis where the people that live here say that there are really nice neighborhoods and that they feel safe, which most people, if you talk to them, they would think that St. Louis is just horrible. Well, and it's ranked the 27th most dangerous city in the world for a reason, and that's likely due to the bad areas. And there's a few of them that kind of keep their numbers a little on the lower side than it otherwise would be. There's four neighborhoods that they have here where the violent crime percent is over 900% worse than the national average. And that's up there with, if you saw my video I did on Milwaukee last year, Milwaukee had like 5 or 6 neighborhoods that were over 1,000 times worse. So Milwaukee is technically probably worse in that regard. But they have 9 that are over 800% worse. A lot of graffiti on that building there on the left. And there's 13 that have their violent crime is 700% worse. That is really bad. And I'm trying to think of what this is putting us on. Freeway. Yeah, it looks like the GPS is trying to put us on the freeway. So we'll just go past it and we'll go up to one more block. We're gonna go up one more block and then turn up here so that we don't end up on the freeway with our spare tire. Can't do anything there. With our spare tire on here, we don't want to get on the freeway. All right, we'll just keep going. The houses here actually don't look too bad. Again, the brick houses don't seem to wear the same as houses that are wood and with paint. So even if they're in a bad area, they're not as bad as, or they don't look as bad as other houses with peeling paint and other issues. So pre-2020, yeah, there's still a lot of garbage, but it actually looks a lot cleaner than you would expect it to. When we were first coming into the city, it was really bad. There was garbage everywhere. Let's see if there's a frontage road. The garbage was everywhere, and this is actually pretty clean where we're going through right here. I think this is going to put us back on the freeway. We're trying to figure out where we're at. I wonder if I can just turn here. Let's just go here. Pass by one of these schools. Wait to hear the school statistics on this place. So pre-2020, the homicides were mostly in the 100s. They had like in the hundreds every year. And the murder rate was between 35 and 65. And after 2020, or in 2020, the murder rate was 94, and they had 264 homicides. Yeah, now the houses we're getting into a little shadier area. And that was probably not the best way to turn. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we want to get caught down there. All right, okay, here we go. Tons of abandoned buildings. This whole stretch of this road is all abandoned. Although that end one, it looks like maybe somebody lives in that one. Yeah, the GPS keeps trying to get us back on the freeway. All right. So in 2021, the murder rate fell to 71 when they had just 200 homicides. And 71, that is still of the worst murder rates you can possibly have in the country. And then 2022, it went back up to a murder rate of 80 when they had 225 homicides. With the declining population here, and the population isn't that big to begin with, 279,000. It's not that big to begin with. And when the number of murders is not going down and you're losing your population, the murder rate's just going to keep getting worse and worse, because that goes on a statistical by per 100,000 people basis. The assault rate here is about the same as Baltimore, which is about 900. Yeah, this whole area is a little on the... This whole area is pretty bad. Well, they're doing some work on that building right there. But this whole area is pretty bad through here. Okay. Okay. So 83% of the people that live here completed the 8th grade. And 80% have graduated high school. That's actually pretty on the low side. And you can tell, look at all these abandoned houses. Like literally most of these houses in this neighborhood. We kind of accidentally got into this neighborhood. I wasn't really trying to go through this neighborhood. It says to go that way. It says to go this way. I don't know where it's taking us, unless it's looping it. No, but it's taking us back. Yeah. We'll just turn on this road. People sitting on the side of the road. So as far as the schools go, 25% of the students graduate proficient at reading and math. In the entire state, it's around 49%. And the US average is 48%. So 25% means only 1 out of every 4 students that graduate. Of the 80% of the people that live here, 1 out of every 4 of the 80% that graduated are proficient at reading and math. So the city, there's not a lot of hope for a city that the people that live there can't do reading and math at a 12th grade level. And you can see by this city, this is really run down. A lot of this. And I'm not sure what neighborhood we're in, because we got off track with the when we hit that the road that was closed at those railroad tracks. And I don't know what neighborhood we're in. I'm just gonna keep skipping these neighborhoods. But we're headed towards the downtown anyway. We're headed in the right direction. That looks, oh no, there's a main road up there.
You want to go that way though, don't you?
That'll get us back to the freeway. Oh, look at this one on the corner. Look at this place. All of these buildings are just all, and look at all the garbage at this one. There's garbage everywhere. There's literally garbage everywhere. Car getting towed. All of these houses are all... Yeah, look at all those buildings on the left. All of this stuff is pretty much deserted. Like all of it. Some of the buildings there's people living in, but it doesn't look like very many of them. Let's take this road because it looks like a main road, kind of. Yeah, all these, you look in every direction, everything is just pretty much abandoned. The whole city. There's cities like, so I said this was ranked the 27th worst in the world, or most dangerous in the world, and the one that was ranked the highest as far as the cities in the United States was Memphis, and that was ranked 11th. Detroit was up in there. New Orleans was on there, but I don't think it was as high as St. Louis. But all the usual suspects. But you can see by looking at this, a lot of times I go through these cities and the crime is really bad, but I look at the cities and I don't think it doesn't look that bad. Like, it doesn't look like a city that would have really high crime. This looks like a city that would have really high crime. And we're gonna go around this and hope that we can get, if we're getting closer to downtown. It looks like up here, it looks like there's more buildings that are in activity. We might be getting closer to downtown. But all of this, I mean, look at that building right on the corner there, to the right. That's all closed down. It looks like the house next to it is closed down. I would say 75% probably of the buildings we went past were abandoned and boarded up to some level in this area we just went through. I haven't seen any homeless people though. I haven't seen any homeless people yet, but maybe when we get closer to downtown, we'll see that. There's a lot of garbage though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of garbage. There hasn't been a ton of graffiti though. There was that one building that had a lot on it, but it was just one building. It wasn't a whole bunch of buildings by any means. These look like people are living in them. Look at this one's all busted up. The one on the right here, that's all busted up. That's a huge building too. That one's got a lot of graffiti on it as well. Here's a building with a lot of graffiti on the right up there. That one's got a lot. That's abandoned too.
That goes right to Enterprise.
Okay. We're taking a detour from the path that I had plotted out because we got to stop and get this rental car checked out. Which, that little detour though brought us through a bunch of areas that were, oh my gosh, that building, that we just missed. I turned up the road to the right there. The building is almost half of it's missing. These buildings are really abandoned. The whole city, this one on the, I don't think you can see that, but the roof is completely gone off of these over here. I mean, they're really bad. I had just driven through Rockford not that long ago, and they were saying how that city had 6,000 abandoned buildings, and the city was going through and they were clearing out like 60 to 100 a year. And I'm like, that's going to take nobody that's alive today is going to be around by the time they clear out all the abandoned buildings. And this city's probably got more abandoned buildings than there was there, and they had 6,000, and that's a much smaller city too. More detour, more road construction. Aside from that huge pothole that we hit, the roads aren't that bad here. For how bad the city is, for how bad the buildings look, the roads aren't really that bad. They're not necessarily good, but aside from that huge pothole that we hit, they're not bad. Yep, more buildings that are need to be torn down. It's just the whole area looks horrible. They tore one out over here. There's a pile of something. Well, that might be just a pile of something laying there. Yeah, all the way up there. If you look up here, I don't know if you can see that or if the door thing was in the way, but there's way more abandoned buildings up there. Everything. I mean, everywhere you go, there's abandoned buildings. Look at this road, though. I would love if my neighborhood, if the roads were as good as this road. The pavement on this is really good for a city that looks the way it does. But now we're getting into the downtown, and maybe that's why the roads are better. So all those neighborhoods that I named off at the beginning that we were going to drive through, we didn't actually drive through them because of that detour that we had to take. And now the detour that we have to take to get to the Enterprise car rental. To get this tire, oh, there it is right there. All right, so we're gonna cut the video out right here as we go into Enterprise and get this tire taken care of. Thanks for watching.